G'day there, how's it going guys? It's your boy, I Read Reddit, back at it again with more entitled parent stories. Now today we got some interesting stories, so throw a shrimp on that barbie, or a prawn if you'd like, and get ready to go. This is gonna be exciting. Our first story was posted by user Imaginary-Broccoli6, titled, Entitled Mother and Entitled Kid Demands My Toy Gun. I saw a lot of entitled mothers in gun ranges, and that's when it hit me about the incident that happened a few years ago. We've already read a story from Imaginary-Broccoli6 that was titled, I Punched an Entitled Mother That I Met a Long Time Ago. I don't remember what her charges were, but I definitely know she was banned from the gun range. So back then, I think it was 4 years ago, I would always visit the gun range in the city. I still go there at least 3 times a month, with my friend and his dad who owns the place. I went with him every weekend. One day, my friend's father told me that I'm now able to use real bullets and work with a rifle. I was excited as I love guns and bullets and shooting things, but not for hurting anyone, unless it is self-defense. I got 3 bullseyes and 4 a little bit out of the target, but hey, 3 bullseyes, not bad. I remember seeing a woman there and her child who we'll call Entitled Mother and Entitled Kid. They were sitting around and viewing the place. I could tell immediately that they were annoyed by the sound of the bullets, but they didn't say anything. So far so good. I was just finished loading up the bullets when they came up to me. This is how that conversation happened. You know the characters, but FD, friend's dad, and police officer are also involved. She goes, "Hi, are you done playing with that?" "I'm sorry?" "Your toy gun. My kid wants to play. He's bored." Miss, the gun's not a toy, it's a real gun." "Pff, no it's not. They're fake guns. They're just BB guns." "No, miss, the gun has real bullets. Here, I can show you." And I opened the magazine. No, they're just plastic. It's okay, just give it to me, my son can play." And she reaches for me to hand out the gun to her. "Sorry, miss, I can't do that. Only people with silver titles can hold a real gun. Bronze titles is at the corner with the BB guns." Quick context, bronze is for beginners, silver is for rifles, gold is for small machine guns, and platinum is for pistols, shotguns, and machine guns such as AK-47s, but they stopped AK-47s because we kept shooting birds. Now continuing on. "Mom, when can I play?" "In a minute, sweetie." "Mom, I want to play now." "I said in a minute, sweaty." Whoa, 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 no minutes, sweet lady. The gun is real, and I can't in any way give it to you, even if I was going to just be nice. She then tried that single mother routine, but I just ignored it. Single mother, huh? Then why is there a male's name on your wedding ring? I noticed that very easily. The entitled mother then said something I couldn't remember, but I think you can guess what she said. "I'm sorry, but the answer's a no. Good day." I then left to go find my friend, but with my own stupidity, I left my rifle sitting there. Sweet, hey? I come back and see the entitled kid struggling to keep it in balance. Luckily the safety was on, so there was no way he could shoot anything, yet I was wrong. The entitled mother took the gun and proceeded to yell at me that the gun is broken. But my only response is, "Why are you holding my gun when I told you you're not allowed to use it?" She then proceeded to berate me to treat elders right. Respect my elders even though she wasn't that old, and demanded that I fix the gun. I told her no, and I went to find the friendly dad. We come back, and this is how the events ensue. "Why wouldn't this fudging work?" "Ma'am, you're not allowed to use a real gun. Bronze members are in the corner." "Why should I listen to you? You don't work here." "Actually, I do, because I'm the owner." "No, you're not." "Yes, I am." "No, you're not." "Yes, I am." "Then where's your badge, "Ma'am, this place is for the public and police, but only members with their respective icons are allowed to use specific types of guns, and I don't need a badge because I'm not a cop, although he used to be." "Then why does he get to shoot this gun? He's not a silver or anything whatever." "Actually, he is. He's my son's best friend, and I treat him as family.
But, he's too young. You're gonna corrupt him.
The only thing here that's corrupting is you with your language that's disturbing the children. I'm gonna ask you again to put this gun down and go to bronze, or else you're gonna be kicked out. The entitled mother then does this single mother crap again, and friend's dad does the single father routine. At the time he was a single father, but remarried a year later, fortunately.
I'm gonna call the cops.
For what? Now, I couldn't remember much after that because they spoke Indonesian. Why did I do an American accent? I was still learning the basics, so I had no clue, and neither did my friend since he's from Singapore. The last thing I remember was the cops showing up and asking what's going on, but what happened next really baffled me to this day. The entitled mother raised the gun at the friendly dad and threatened to shoot him. He didn't move a muscle. Friend's dad is a very, very, very buff and intimidating man, and has had guns held at his face before. You've really got to wonder what the cops and criminals did to him while he was on the force. The gun fired, but barely missed the friend's dad, and immediately the police officer tackled the entitled mother to the ground while the entitled kid was smacking me, doing that throwing hands thing that kids do. It was easy to block him, as I just held his head while he was screaming poopy face, Mina, all that kiddie stuff, even though I didn't do anything that's happening to his mother. The entitled mum was carried away, and that was it. As for me and my friend, we still hang out together, and as mentioned, friend's dad got remarried. Oh, and if you're asking what happened to the first wife, she left him. No idea why, just poof, gone. Also, I have no idea what happened to that kid. I assumed he got picked up by a relative, but I don't care. Our next story was posted by user tsakeboya, titled, Entitled Mother Tries to Call the Police on Me Because She Doesn't Seem to Know the Law. Stereotypical mobile warning. Also, I'm not a native English speaker. It's gonna be fun. Our cast and crew are Entitled Mother, me, my dad, and my own mother. This story happened last year. It was an afternoon in the middle of July, and we were at the beach swimming and stuff. The usual. Now, because my dad absolutely loves fishing, we stayed there until the sun dropped. Because it's a law in my country, I don't know for other countries, that you can fish at the beach after sunset. So, he starts preparing his stuff, when we saw that, at the other side of the beach, which was very far away from us, a family with 4 kids were there. At the beach after sunset, with complete darkness, other than some flashlights we had. Strange, yes, but not a problem. We can't hurt them with our fishing. So my dad starts fishing and minding his own business. Until not even 5 minutes later, the entitled mother comes up to my dad with a very angry face. Hey! Hi. What are you doing here? I'm fishing. Is there something wrong with me fishing?
Of course there is something wrong. You can't fish at the beach.
Why?
Because there's people swimming at the beach and you can seriously hurt them.
But the sun's dropped. I'm legally allowed to fish. Also, you're at the other side of the beach. How can I hurt you and your kids?
Are you an invalid? What? You're fishing right next to us.
Again, she was at the other fudging side of the beach.
And do you think you can't hurt us?
I'm just gonna ignore you. I won't continue hearing your crap talk for no reason, mate.
Okay, I see. I might have to call the police on you. You!
Yeah, sure. After an hour or something goes by, we pack our things up and get back into the car because we're all very tired. Once we're in the car, we hear an all too familiar voice.
What the F are you doing? You will sit here and wait for the police.
We just ignored her while she continued screaming. We talked about what the F had just happened all the way back home. Our next story was posted by user YoungLemon4, titled, Entitled Auntie Wants to Pick Out Our Dog for Us. Disclaimer, I'm on laptop, and I've posted here before in English because it's my first and only language. If I mess anything up, then this is my own damn fault, okay? Okay. Background. Ever since my mother was little, Her and her sister have been at each other's throats non-stop. They shared a room. My mum actually laid down tape to separate the sides. So yeah, it was that bad. Now you, my reader, might think that this was just a childish banter, but oh no. This feud lived to tell many, many tales, and this is only one of them. Our cast are Entitled Auntie, Mother Goose, Entitled Auntie's daughter, which is also known as my cousin. This story, when my mum had me and my brothers, this meant that the Entitled Auntie became my aunt. I've had plenty of stories about the auntie, but this one really stood out. I had wanted a dog since the day that I learnt what dogs were. It took a while, but we finally found a breeder that my mother decided was acceptable, and she told everyone. This is exactly how my mother told the story to me. She was in the car, going through her contact list to see who she hasn't told about our dog. Well, not really. When she found her sister, she called the Entitled Auntie, and the Entitled Auntie picked up. "Hey girl! Hi auntie, I have some big news. Are you getting remarried?" My mum's divorced and the auntie has been pestering her to find herself a man. No, not anytime soon, but we are getting a dog. Cricket noises. Sister, are you there? And just how do you think A will feel about this? My daughter. A as in your daughter who lives across town? That A? Yeah, she's terrified of big dogs. Okay. Okay? You simply cannot get a large dog. But this is our decision, and I would obviously train him or her not to jump or bite. Okay, how about this? You send the pictures of the dog you want, and I will tell you if I approve. Huh? Yes, she actually said that. I don't think I'll be doing that. And then she hung up. My mother and I had a good laugh about it when she got home. You'd think that would be it. But oh no. Oh no. A few months later, we got our little pupper and named her Luna. She's perfect and we all love her. The Entitled Auntie came over one day for lunch because she lives just across town and we don't want to see her that much, thank God. As she pulls up, my dog goes crazy as she is very friendly. The auntie comes in and we all do the niceties and everything at the door before sitting down to eat. Midway through the meal, the Entitled Auntie springs this on my mother. Luna is very cute, though I don't remember approving her. Everything goes dead silent. Literally. You could hear a pin drop. My mother places her fork down and looks at the auntie with fire in her soul. Didn't think that I needed to get my physically distant sister's approval on my family's dog. Well, my daughter is frightened of Luna. No, I'm not. That doggie's cute. The daughter is 4 years old. See? Huh? She likes Luna. Maybe you could learn from her. The Entitled Auntie is in no position to take on my mother, as she is a full-time personal assistant to one of the richest and snobbiest people that I've ever met. My mother is a single mother of 3 kids and takes exactly 0 BS. Entitled Auntie kinda deflates and leaves quickly after lunch. I know, no arrests, no fake claims, no court trials, but hey, cut me some slack, guys. Also, Luna is 2nd generation cavoodle. For those uneducated in dog lingo, that means that one of her parents was a normal cavoodle and the doggo was mixed with another poodle. Our next story was posted by user Humanoidfreak, titled, "I don't care if the dragon is broken, turn it back on. I came all the way from Calgary for this." More theatre stories? Yes sir. Okay, some backstory about this dragon. In West Edmonton Mall, around the 80s, they built this dragon that spits real fire. You read that right, real fire. So this has been a tourist spot for years on end. People from all over different provinces come to see it. Okay, now fast forward to 2006. That crap kept breaking down. So the theatre would get it fixed, but again it would break down, and it would cost so much just to fix it. So when it did work, it would be so annoying. since every 20 minutes the fricker would turn on and spurt fire and have these sounds come out. At first it was cool, but working underneath it, man, it would get annoying real quick. So they stopped fixing it. People would come, complain, cycle continues. In comes our cast. Me, I want that fire, Dad. Guy. We drove all the way there. Karen. Annoying kid. Kid. And supervisor. TL. So I'm on the floor sweeping the lobby, minding my own business, when somebody taps me on the shoulder. I turn around and see a family of 3 who are not happy. Hey, when does the dragon go off? It doesn't, it's broken. Since when? 3 years now. Stop lying. Go up there and push the button and start the dragon. Yeah, I want the dragon. I want fire. Yeah, my kid wants fire. Give my kid fire. I can't, ma'am. And why not? There's no button. I really gotta stop being a smartass sometimes. Oh ha ha, very funny guy. Go turn it on. Again, sir, I can't. Yes, you can. No, I really cannot. The dragon's been broken for 3 years. It takes millions to fix it, and it just keeps breaking down. I don't care. We drove all the way from Calgary for this. Let me speak to your manager. I radio my manager. My supervisor comes walking towards us and says, What can I help you with? Yeah, you can turn on the dragon for my kid. Sir, the dragon's been broken for 3 years. We can't. How dare you? My kid's been looking forward to this. We drove from Calgary, for goodness sakes. Just turn on the dang button. There is no button. Frankly, I don't know how it works. I'm not the one who created that thing. Isn't it on a timer? Yeah, it was. Then just go to the timer and figure it out. Sir, no, the timer has been broken 3 years ago. Sir, can I just continue sweeping, please? Yep, just go ahead, mate. Oh no, he stays right here. I want your name and his name. I'm calling corporate. We will be reimbursed for this since we came all the way from Calgary. You can honestly tell them all you want, but they can't do anything. Oh, they can touch the button on their side. Yeah, their side. Here's the number. The parents get the number and then go off to call corporate. Who knows how much corporate laughed that day? I like this comment. I'll call corporate. They're the ones who decided not to fix it anymore, idiot. Hello, corporate. We have no lives whatsoever, so we drove from Calgary to Edmonton to see your dragon. And it doesn't work. I demand you fix it immediately, or we're never coming back. I don't care how much it costs. My kid deserves to see it. Yeah, just have a seat. We'll go get somebody right over. Corporate guy hangs up, blocks the number, and rewinds the tape. Hey guys, get in here. You gotta hear these morons. Tape is copied and becomes an in-house joke. Meanwhile, the family is found weeks later, dirty, tired, and starving in the middle of a mall. And our last story today was posted by user divingenthusiast, titled Encounters with My Entitled Bench of an Aunt. My auntie, who I'll be referring to as Stupid Bench, is one of the worst people I've ever met. She doesn't just believe the world revolves around her, she basically believes that she is the world. She has this super toxic, my word is law attitude, because she's the only religious person left in the family. From what I've heard, the rest of the family would often cave in to her endless whining and demands just to get her to shut up. That was until the newest generation came along. As in me, my 2 siblings, my twin cousins who are both girls, and my 1 male cousin who's the same age as me. This stupid bench also has a daughter, but I don't recognize her as a family member because she's also a piece of crap. We were all born around the same time, that being 2000 to 2003. My guess is the moment we came into the picture, the whole family went into defense mode and raised us to not make the same mistake they did with the auntie, and taught us differently. That being, don't take any crap from this crazy bench and her kid. The auntie didn't like any of us from the start, solely because we were not religious, or in her words, godly children. This is where the first encounter comes into play. My parents had cut contact with her a few months before I was born, because she wouldn't leave my mother alone. She kept hounding her over the importance of teaching your children about God and whatnot. So when my parents revealed to her that they were atheists and would be raising me agnostic, they might as well have set off a nuclear bomb. She had a meltdown over the news and demanded that my parents teach me to be religious. They laughed in her face and then of course cut her off. A month before I was born, her husband divorced her. He was a perfectly sane individual and just couldn't put up with her crap anymore. Everything he did had to revolve around making her happy. This sent her over the edge. The rest of the family had not cut her off yet, but they were distant regardless. With nobody to direct her anger at or boss around, she decided to lash out at my parents once again. I was 3 the day she pulled up in our driveway and started pounding on the door, demanding to see her nephew. Surprise, surprise, me. She didn't get her wish, and my dad told the auntie through the locked front door that he would call the police if she didn't leave. The auntie then went into a fudging crazy frenzy while her own daughter watched her from the car. I mean, this grown-ass lady was jumping up and down, throwing herself against the door, all while screaming. The auntie ends up exhausting herself and stumbles back into the car while cursing my parents out. Apparently, she said she hopes that I die before I reach the ripe old age of 4. My own fudging aunt wished death on me. My parents filed a restraining order, and that was the last time they ever saw the auntie and her crappy kid for 7 years. While growing up during that time period, my siblings and I, who were 2 years younger than me, were always told that if a woman named SB ever came to my house and they were not home, we were not to answer her and to call the police immediately. Fast forward to 2010. At this point I'm 10 years old, as I'm born in 2000, and both of my siblings are 8 years old. It was Christmas Eve, and the majority of my family was at my aunt and uncle's house. Not the crazy one, but the auntie on my mother's side, who I actually respect. My mum was one of 4 children, the crazy one being the youngest. Crazy lady was going to be at the Christmas party this year, and my parents were very hesitant to take us, because of her comments that were still fresh in their mind. I had no idea who SB or her daughter, who I'll just call Entitled Kid, were at the time. The moment my auntie laid eyes on me, she gave me this disgusted look that sent me running the other way. She did the same thing with my siblings. The whole damn party, all the crazy lady did was talk about how amazing her kid was, and got angry whenever someone tried to talk about something else. She had this awful, "How dare you not pay attention to me" attitude. Still does today. Along with this, she would whine and moan about my uncle and auntie not accommodating to her entitled kid's desires. She single-handedly ruined the whole mood of the party and made everyone miserable. The entitled kid didn't bother me until later that night at dinner. Remember when I said that the stupid bench was crazy religious? Well, she spread that same poison into her daughter's mind. I'm glad that crazy lady's husband is free from her, but at the same time the entitled kid has nobody around to teach her right from wrong. There was no grace at dinner, which the crazy lady was furious about. So who does my auntie and her kid decide to take this out on? That's right, ding ding ding, the kids. Right before I was about to eat, the entitled kid asks, "Aren't you gonna pray?" Not knowing how to respond, I just shove my mashed potatoes into my mouth. The entitled kid gasps like I just murdered someone. Crazy auntie opens her mouth to say something, but instead just glares at me. She stared daggers into my soul at me and my siblings the whole dang dinner, lol. She throws her whole plate out afterwards, and when my uncle asks her why, she says, "I think I lost my appetite," in this really accusatory tone. After dinner, my siblings and I went to play on the Wii with our cousins upstairs. The entitled kid and her mother watch us from afar, and being an oblivious kid, I think nothing of it. I see the stupid bench auntie whisper something to the entitled kid, and she gets this big grin on her face. I keep playing until I feel the entitled kid shove me from behind. I fall over, and the entitled kid goes into a long tirade of name-calling and other hurtful crap, calling me fat and stupid, and saying that my mother must have done a crappy job raising me if I turned out like this. I look at the entitled auntie for help, and the bench is recording us while laughing. I couldn't believe my fudging eyes. My own auntie, who up until now I thought of as family, was laughing as her daughter bullied my siblings and I. The entitled kid was 4 years older than me, so there really wasn't much that I could do. However, my mother wasn't having it. She heard the crap the entitled kid was saying and stormed upstairs. My mother flings open the door, sees my auntie recording the whole thing and screams, "What the freak are you doing?" Side note, crazy auntie lady is terrified of my mum. She's a foot shorter and not athletic at all. I guess the stupid auntie was intoxicated and a normal fear of my mum didn't really apply in this situation, because when my mum asked her if she was going to punish the kid for picking on us, she just smirked and said, "Why would I punish my daughter for telling the truth?" With that, my mum gripped the auntie by the hair and dragged her downstairs. I heard a loud crash and then sobbing from the auntie. Her and the kid left immediately. Good riddance. I heard from my older cousin years later that my mum had dragged the auntie into the kitchen and smashed her mouth down on the counter, knocking 4 teeth out. A lot of you might consider this an extreme overreaction, and maybe it was, but to be honest, I'm very glad my mum did that. She defended her children, and the entitled kid never tried that crap again for years after witnessing what happened to her mum. After this incident, the auntie despised me, my siblings, and my 3 cousins, and made it her personal mission to come after us at any family gathering. From this incident to 2015, I only ever had small run-ins with her and her daughter, almost always at family events. The entitled kid learned quickly that I wouldn't just sit back and let her pick on me after I punched her in the face at a summer party for calling one of my cousins invalid. Another incident occurred when my auntie followed my sister around and called her a tramp for wearing a normal tank top. My sister said, "I might be a tramp, but at least I'm not a stuck-up piece of crap like you." The entitled auntie ran to my dad and complained about my sister's behavior, screaming about how she wasn't ladylike. My dad laughed and told her to cry about it to someone who cared. During this time period, my auntie was basically losing her mind. Before my siblings and I came along, she got whatever she wanted and everyone listened to her. But now that there's a bunch of rowdy teens in the family, she's finding that her previously unchallenged entitlement means absolutely nothing and she hates us for it. There were a bunch of small incidents that occurred between 2013 to 2015. The big one happened in January 2015 when a big family reunion was hosted at our house, including the entitled auntie and her kid. My parents only invited them because they assumed my auntie and her demon daughter had learned from their past mistakes and we were not to be taken lightly and that we would not hesitate to retaliate against their behavior. Oh, we thought wrong. The auntie and her kid arrived very early. I greeted them at the door and they didn't even acknowledge me. This didn't surprise me though, because they've done this before. At this point, I was 15 and my siblings were 13, making the entitled kid 19. She still hadn't moved out and her mother completely coddled her. She was spoiled as frick and got everything she ever wanted. My parents made it very clear that neither of them were allowed in our rooms. The auntie scoffs at this and says the rule's stupid. My parents don't care and tell her that if she has a problem, she can just leave. The rest of the family arrives, and the auntie spends the whole time pouting in the corner. My brother and I notice that the entitled kid is gone, and we start to panic. That's when our sister whispers to us that she saw the kid sneak upstairs. We go up, and lo and behold, the entitled kid is in my brother's room trying to steal his computer. She's unplugging the wires and tugs it free from the wall. We stay quiet and plan to jump on her when she's walking out until we hear, "Did you get that stupid computer yet?" from down the hall. This crap was bloody planned. The only reason they even came to the reunion was so they could steal crap from us. My brother loses his cool and starts screaming at the 19-year-old kid to put it back and get the frick out of our house. The entitled auntie waffles over and screams right back at us. saying that they deserved the computer, and I crap you not said,
"It's the least you can do for being godless children."
My sister started shouting for my parents and received a hard slap from the auntie. All bloody hell breaks loose. I kick the auntie hard in the gut. She screams and rams into me, knocking me to the floor. My mother, my dad, and two of my eldest cousins, who are both huge guys, come barreling up the stairs and tackle the auntie who was on top of me. My mother starts beating the ever-loving frick out of the entitled auntie right on the carpet, while my dad and cousins restrain the kid and have to pry the computer console out of her hands. My mum stops wailing on the auntie, who now has a black eye and bloody nose. She gets up and starts shrieking about how she's gonna sue. My mum tells her to go ahead and try, and also that if she ever comes back, my mum will kill her. The auntie flees the house while dragging her 19-year-old daughter, who's in the middle of a tantrum. The night goes as usual after that. Yeah, I have no doubt it does. That about wraps it up. I haven't seen the auntie and kid in 4 years, and hopefully I never have to see them again. If I do have another run-in with them though, I hope it ends with me slamming the front door in the auntie's face while she's begging for money. My god, now the mum is like the craziest out of all of them. Wow, the mum is just like, slam down, break all your teeth, smash your face in. Oh, I wouldn't want to mess with that mum. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. I really enjoyed recording that one. Tell me what you think of it in the comments, and if you have any takeaways from all this, I'll be glad to discuss it with you. And I just hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye!